Yeah, you already mentioned that you create content on Instagram, which was my second question. Why did you decide to start posting stuff on Instagram and other social media accounts? And maybe then we can also talk about some tips for growing on Instagram, just a few, maybe someone else wants to do the same. So yeah, why did you start creating content on Instagram?
So back then, that was now about 2 years ago when I started that. I had a friend who actually had an Instagram page that was about recycling trash and stuff like that. So not related to programming, but that didn't matter. I just liked the way he did that. So he used a software called Canva for that. That's a website where you can easily create such posts by dragging and dropping. And I liked that. That looked a lot of fun. And after a while, I thought, why don't I just do something similar with a topic that I'm actually interested in? At that time, I was getting into Android. Back then, I was still using Java. And I actually only had like 2 or 3 weeks of Android experience, or rather, 2 or 3 weeks in which I decided to dive deeper into that topic. And that was also a reason why I made that Instagram page. I just wanted to put out content because it's fun. I wanted to just take people with me on my journey, how I learned this, and just also be able to help people with the content I post. I didn't have any real intentions of earning money with that. It was just trying it out, and just getting my name out there a little bit. Even that wasn't the intention back then, but that emerged out of that. So back then I was also called Android Devs for those who still know that.
I
So
remember.
I wasn't known with my name like today, but eventually I changed it because that was also a part of my goal to actually also show myself, because I think this personal connection also helps people to better understand such concepts.
Yeah, the story is actually pretty similar for both of us. I also started making content very early after I started with Android. So yeah, for other people who want to do the same, there's no reason to wait. You don't need to be very experienced to start. There's always something you can share. Okay, you mentioned Canva. Yeah, it's a really nice tool for people who don't know or who don't want to learn a complicated tool like Photoshop, because Canva is very easy to get started. For creating content, you can basically drag and drop some text and images and you get nice graphics, right? And they have some templates for that. I used it a few times and it's really nice, especially for Instagram. Okay, so if people want to start their own Instagram pages, do you have some tips on how to grow there?
Yeah, I have a lot of tips. On the one hand, I would start. Don't forget that it's called social media. It's not called solo media. So you have to interact with people. That is the intention of social media platforms. Post stories, ask people questions about whatever. So that just encourage them to interact with you. You should answer every single comment, especially in the beginning. If you grow, that's not always possible if you also have other priorities. But especially if you're a small creator, you can always reply to every message, every comment you get. And the smaller you are, the more important it is for you to give people detailed answers about their projects, because that is how they will tell their friends, hey, this is a really nice page and a really nice creator who really helped me with my problems. Another thing that I would say is listen to feedback. And that is, it sounds so obvious, but I see people on Instagram so often that who basically have so many posts, all posts look the same, and all posts look pretty bad. And they often also ask me for feedback. I usually give that, but then they say they don't want to change their style because they have their fixed theming, and they think that destroys their feed. But I think you should start being self-critical. You should look at your content and also kind of check what other creators who maybe have more followers than you, what they do differently, and take that as an approach to learn, improve your content. Your content will never be perfect. My content is not perfect. But if you always have that drive to become better, then that will also reflect in your follower count. And one more thing, that is basically, that's a strong one. It's just brainstorming, sitting down for an hour and brainstorming what you can do better. And as I said, you can take a look at other pages and analyze them, but you can also analyze what works for you. You have these insights on Instagram, how many likes which post got, how many comments and stuff like that. Just check what people actually want to see and build your page from that information.
Okay, so when you say 1 hour of brainstorm, do you mean every day or once per week, or how often is that?
No, I wouldn't do that every day. I think once a week is a good amount of time, a good frequency, I mean.
Yeah, and you mentioned that people are often, they don't really want to improve their content, or they do the same stuff over and over again. And yeah, it's a really good point, because I also get these questions sometimes from people with YouTube channels who want to know how to grow. And there's not really much luck involved, at least at the moment. If your content is good, then in my opinion, on almost all topics, all social media, or at least in the programming niche, your accounts will grow on social media if your content is good and you post consistently. So if you are posting consistently and you are still not growing, this probably means your content is bad. So you have to be honest about yourself, and you have to ask yourself if people really want to see that stuff, because otherwise there's no reason to subscribe or share.
But the thing is, there's also nothing bad about bad content. The most important thing is that you just go out there and share content and improve from that. But if you wait to be ready to share the perfect content, that just won't happen. You will improve in that process of making content. And if you start, then you're already ahead of so many people out there.
Yeah. So just start and then iterate from there, improve with every post. That's basically the idea.